Welcome to this unusual episode of France 24's culture show Encore from my cellar. Like half of the world, we're in confinement here in Paris, but we still want to keep you up to date. So we've put together a collection of this week's culture reports, starting with one about the death of the Cameroonian jazz funk musician Manu Dibango from the coronavirus.
The tones of jazz blended with the steady rhythms of African culture. Manu Dibango was an artist at the intersection of genres, an ambassador for world music that reflected his own identity. He was born in 1933 in Douala, Cameroon, at the time still a French colony. He grew up surrounded by a wide variety of musical influences. In 1949, Dibango was sent to France for boarding school in the northwestern town of Saint-Calais. There, he will be exposed to yet more new cultures, in particular the music of Black America.
On change de monde, en fait. Je sors d'un monde, j'entre dans un autre monde. En fait, c'est un voyage initiatique, on peut le dire comme ça, parce que tu changes de tout au tout.
He soon dropped his studies and turned fully to music, learning first to play piano and harmonica, before settling on a saxophone as his main instrument. In Paris, he would rub elbows with French pop giants like Dick Rivers and Nino Ferrer, before heading to Brussels to try his luck. But in 1960, his African roots called him home, amid the independence movement sweeping through Europe's colonies.
La chance qu'on peut avoir, c'est effectivement d'être au bon moment, au bon endroit. Voilà, mais ça, c'est le destin, ça, parce que c'est naturellement, on n'avait pas de plan de carrière. Il se trouve qu'on était à Bruxelles, qu'on travaillait chez Fonseca aux Anges Noirs. Et les hommes politiques se trouvaient là. Et Lumumba est venu et dans sa mallette, il y avait l'African Jazz de Kabasele. Son saxophoniste est malade, donc il me prend pour faire les disques. Et dans ces disques-là, il y a Indépendant, Cha-Cha, et voilà.
And it was chance once again that would launch his international career. In 1972, the B-side of a single released to support Cameroon in the Africa Cup of Nations was played on American radio. Soon the song, Sol Makossa, would be a worldwide hit. Elements of the song were copied by a number of American artists, including Michael Jackson.
C'est une reconnaissance aussi, parce que finalement, on ne copie que ce qu'on aime. Ça veut dire qu'ils nous écoutent, parce que pendant très longtemps, on pensait qu'il n'y a que nous qui écoutions les Américains.
Over a 60-year career, Dibango would release over 40 albums, with dozens of world tours, with a lasting impact, especially among young people.
Il y a 6 ans, je me retrouve à jouer avec Manu Dibango. Ça, il n'y a rien de mieux, c'est la meilleure des écoles pour nous.
Je suis pas très fan de jazz à la base, mais là, c'était très sympa. C'est super et c'est la fierté de l'Afrique.
English singer Dua Lipa is one of thousands of artists who've had to cancel concerts because of the coronavirus. She was due to play at the festival Glastonbury, which won't take place now. It's an industry that's had to stop overnight as public gatherings are banned across the globe. It means hundreds of millions of euros in ticket sale losses, falling music industry stock prices, and massive anxiety for behind-the-scenes workers.
Last Wednesday, I was just watching TV and I saw Trump saying no more Americans can actually come back to Europe, and this was the end of my career. That means I had to cancel 25 gigs, and all I've been built for 22 years was gone. Festival's gone, everything's gone. So it's a bit of a problem now.
Big stars like the Rolling Stones, Cher, Billie Eilish and Celine Dion are postponing their tours. And Alicia Keys is cancelling hers and her upcoming album.
Even when you don't got time, I'll be there to find you. I'll remind you. Show me love. Treat it like we freaking on a weekend. Show me love.
The industry is rallying to find solutions.
Still can't believe you found somebody new.
John Legend, Chris Martin and Code Orange are among the stars streaming concerts from their homes for isolated fans. And with Paris in lockdown, Chris from Christine and the Queens has promised live musical updates on her Instagram account. And of course, there are songs about the coronavirus. One featuring a video by the rapper Cardi B that was posted on her Instagram account that's been remixed by a Brooklyn producer. And the self-isolation rap that's been put on Facebook by the Welsh group Goldie Looking Chain.
I'm a survivor, I'm a stockpiler, keep on surviving, some call it skiving. I'm a survivor, I'm a stockpiler, keep on surviving, use hand sanitizer. No need to stockpile toilet paper and alarming.
The very future of France's cultural model is hanging in the balance. That's how Franck Riester summed up the situation as the French culture minister announced a range of measures to shore up the arts and creative industries here in France. Now, this comes after many professionals found themselves unemployed almost overnight, looking ahead to a calendar of cancelled performances and events. For the French government, the idea is to stem the economic effects of the coronavirus by pouring 22 million euros into the cultural sector overall, with 10 million earmarked for the music industry, 5 million for theatre and dance, another 5 million for the publishing sector, and 2 million going to fine arts, museums and galleries. Now, here in France, there is a special regime for casual workers in the arts. They're called intermittents du spectacle, and that system allows them to draw a salary even when they're between projects. There are conditions, though. To qualify, they must clock up 507 hours of paid employment over the space of a year. But given the exceptional circumstances right now, the rules surrounding that will be relaxed. Elsewhere, outside of France, institutions are scrambling to deal with this crisis. Germany's culture minister Monika Grütters has pledged liquidity measures for the sector. She's currently in talks with representatives to define just what those measures will entail. And in the UK, the Arts Council has unveiled a £160 million rescue package, and that package has provision for freelancers as well, who are very concerned about their job security. Now, the director of the Arts Council, Nicholas Sirota, has said that artists and organisations should be able to continue nourishing the imaginations of people across the country during this time of crisis and, of course, in the recovery period afterwards.
You ever flown one of these things before?
Nope.
The new James Bond movie, No Time to Die, was one of the first films to push back its release date, followed by many more, including the 9th Fast and Furious and Peter Rabbit 2. In France, Universal's Trolls World Tour was due out in April. That's been pushed back to a much later date.
Les gens vont être confinés chez eux pendant plusieurs mois, vont reprendre des habitudes ou prendre des habitudes de consommation, de VOD, de streaming, etc. Et donc, quand l'activité reprendra, on va mettre beaucoup d'efforts pour réorienter les gens vers l'expérience collective que représente la salle, parce que pour nous, c'est primordial que les gens retournent dans les salles de cinéma le plus tôt possible.
Studios have been forced to put titles like The Hunt and Invisible Man, starring Elizabeth Moss, available on demand much earlier than planned.
He was a sociopath, completely in control of everything. He said that wherever I went, he would find me, walk right up to me, and I wouldn't be able to see him.
Shooting of productions like Netflix's Russian Doll, Mission Impossible 7, which was due to be filmed in Venice, and Disney's live-action The Little Mermaid have all been suspended. And as well as that, the most prestigious film festival in the world, Cannes, has been postponed to an unknown date. There are also various actors who have the coronavirus and are in isolation, like the actor Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson, and the British actor Idris Elba, who announced it on Twitter. All are said to be doing well.
Now's the time to really think about social distancing, washing your hands. Beyond that, there are people out there who aren't showing symptoms and that can easily spread it, okay?
On the upside, there are a variety of celebrity isolation videos, including one from Wonder Woman Gal Gadot, who shared a video of a star-studded rendition of John Lennon's Imagine.
Imagine there's no heaven, easy if you try.
No hell below us.
And a delightful banjo performance from the comic actor Steve Martin.